Hi everyone, and welcome to Parenting with me, Annie Plachette Murphy. Well, bumps and bruises, even the occasional trip to the emergency room, are part of growing up. And while we can't protect our kids from pain, we can do a lot to lessen the physical and emotional impact of an injury or illness simply by choosing our words carefully. Our guest today knows very well how hard it is to remain calm when your child is hurt. But her book, Verbal First Aid, Help Your Kids Heal from Fear and Pain and Come Out Strong, provides invaluable tools every parent and health practitioner should have. So I am very pleased to welcome Dr. Judith Simon Prager. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Annie. Thank you. It's just a delight to be here.
So let's start with what you mean by verbal first aid.
Verbal first aid is a language of healing. It's a way of speaking to someone who's been in fear or pain, in an accident, in a crisis, big or small. And when you know what to say, when a person has been in that state, you're able to set a trajectory for recovery.
Yeah, you
because
have actually. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you have this lovely, almost formula in the book where you say what we think equals how we feel equals how we heal. So just tell me quickly what's behind that formula.
Well, whatever we're thinking, every thought that we have is a physiological reaction in our body. Just think about having a nightmare. You wake up from a nightmare and your palms are sweaty and your throat is dry and your heart is palpitating. And you open your eyes and you're in your bedroom, just where you love to be. So so do you turn around and go back to sleep? No, for 20 minutes. You go and you have a glass of water, you check the locks on the door, you go to the bathroom, you turn on the television. Why? Because for 20 minutes, a cascade of chemicals, of adrenaline and cortisol and all of those chemicals that deal with fight or flight flood your body so that you can escape from a saber-toothed tiger. That's the way we were built.
Right.
However, we don't need that anymore. So what we want to do is instead put in those chemicals, find the words that actually can generate those chemicals of calm that begin the healing. And that's what verbal first aid is, physically and emotionally.
So let's imagine something that would definitely get a kid's adrenaline pumping and maybe even a parent's. The kid comes running in, blood all over the place, they're screaming because they have a bloody nose, either because they got bumped in the nose or they just woke up with a bloody nose. How would you use verbal first aid, sort of step by step through that situation?
Sure, there's a little protocol. We teach it to doctors all over the country, and now we're so happy to be able to teach it to parents, because if parents can help children have a different voice in their head when something happens, so it's not awfulizing, so that they actually can calm themselves, then we have a whole new generation of children. So the mother or father comes running in, let's say it's in the bedroom so that you know that it's just a bloody nose, and the child is covered with blood. Looks like Friday the 13th happened, because bloody noses are messy. And you walk in and there she is, all over her chest, all covered with blood. And so the first thing you want to do is scream, "Oh, my baby, you're bleeding." Not a good idea. First of all, the child might become afraid of her own blood, and second of all, the thing that might happen is that she might find, oh, all she has to do is bleed and mommy can jump up and down. So we don't want that. What we want is for mommy to take a breath. And let me tell you a quick reason why you want to be taking a breath. Breathing takes you right into present time, first of all, so you're not thinking about all the times you didn't do it right. And the second thing that's really good about taking a breath is that when we're in panic ourselves, we breathe shallowly. When we breathe shallowly, our brain doesn't get enough oxygen. When our brain doesn't get enough oxygen, it panics and we breathe shallowly. So what we have to do is break that cycle immediately so we can calm ourselves. Take a nice deep breath. Look at your child, and before you panic, take a breath. Go walking in and establish what it is. You say to the child, "You have a bloody nose." You can also say, remember another time that happened and your body healed itself, because your body knows how to heal itself.
Right.
Or
so
you
you
can
give
say,
examples, in other words.
Or Uncle George used to get bloody noses all the time. It was so funny. We would all say, "Oh, there goes Uncle George's nose running." So you can give examples. That's right. That's what you can do. Then what you do is you take that child on your lap right away, and you, of course, you wash off the face, the nose, and then you say, you use the therapeutic techniques that we have for verbal first aid. So first you say, "Be my partner." You say, what we're going to do is we're going to pinch the nose right where, so that the blood can stop. Now I can do it, or you can do it. Would you like to be my partner? Sometimes they say you do it because they're feeling so helpless, but sometimes they will do it themselves, and then they feel like they're part of the rescue, and that's particularly wonderful. Then, and you say, there's another technique called as I, you can. As I hold your nose, or as you hold your nose, you can begin to imagine. And then you can use guided imagery, and there are many ways that you can use imagination, but one of the most amazing that actually works in so many cases is to say, imagine that there's a faucet, like the sink faucet, right where your nose is. And you can turn the faucet off so the blood stops. And in the meantime, you can say, we're going to hold it for 10 minutes, and I'll tell you a story about the time that Grandpa had a bloody nose.
Right.
And so what you do is you change the whole way that the child experiences this, and they're using their inner healing, their own mind, to change the physiology as well.
Right. Well, let's talk, just with the time we have left, what are some common mistakes, even well-meaning parents, as you say, often will run in and be very upset when they see their kid, especially if the child's in pain. A bloody nose isn't particularly painful, but what are some of the things that you find that parents really need to learn not to do?
Well, first of all, you want to say what you want to have happen, not what you don't want to have happen. There's a little test in hypnosis where we say, close your eyes and picture any animal in the kingdom of animals, any animal but elephants. Do not think about African elephants with the big ears. Don't think about Indian elephants. Well, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about elephants, because in the sentence, don't think about elephants, there's nothing else to think about.
Right.
So a child says, I have an upset stomach. Exactly. You wouldn't say don't vomit unless you want to duck and cover, because as soon as you say vomit, the child thinks, oh, that's an option, I can do that one.
Right.
So you want to say what you want. Your stomach is beginning to feel comfortable, as if it's taking a nap. Allow your stomach to start feeling comfortable and easy. So
right.
you make suggestions of what you want to have happen. You also don't blame. You never say at that moment when the child is scared, oh, I told you not to do it.
Right,
you don't criticize at
and
that time.
I think obviously you also have talked about the fact that you don't lie. You don't tell them it's not going to hurt if they're having a shot, or that you don't do anything that'll basically force you to lose credibility.
Exactly, lose credibility, lose rapport, because they trust you, and in trusting you, you get to use all these wonderful techniques. So you have to build the rapport, the trust, and then you can teach them.
Well, first of all, you've taught us a lot in this very short time, but there is so much wonderful advice in your very wise book. I thank you so much for being on the show, but for more, definitely pick up Verbal First Aid. Buy the book. It's terrific. Thank you so much.